Film, Lauren, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and start the Q&A. Thank you for submitting your film, and then for also taking time out to be here again tonight. So I just want to thank you so much. It really means a lot to our audience to be able to ask their questions to you and get those answered. So I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself and your role in the film.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity as well. So my name's Lauren Santucci, and I'm a filmmaker and video journalist that's based in Austin. I was kind of a one-woman band for this film, so I directed it, produced it, shot it, and edited it. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. That's kind of what I do. So I'm like, yeah, all right, teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah, being that one woman band is super important. It's kind of like one of those things of like you put your mind to it and you can accomplish anything and you can learn. You just have to really test yourself and encourage yourself along the way. So I commend you for doing that. It's a lot to take on.
I
And
think
your film was great.
I didn't know what I was taking on, so maybe that's my that was my mistake. But no, I like working independently, but I mean nothing beats having a team, I feel like, but sometimes you just gotta work alone.
So you're in Austin. Are you going to school there, or was this a school
No.
project, or was this just a passion project?
Yeah, so this I was attending school at Ohio University, which is in southeastern Ohio, when I made this film, and now I live and work in Austin. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. And how did you find your subject?
Yeah, so when I was in grad school, I was working on a long term photography essay about home birth in Appalachia. And I had built this really strong connection with a local midwife there who works both in southeastern Ohio but also in West Virginia. And as I was kind of working on this photo essay, I just kept feeling like there was an element that was missing. And so I really wanted to uh, share the experience of home birth and tell one of the stories of the women who was choosing home birth in video. And so I connected with Cassie through Lauren, who was her midwife, because at that time I had worked with Lauren for maybe like about 6 months or so, and I had attended like 3 births, I think, before Cassie, and so she trusted me with her clients, and she was able to make that connection, and then I was able to kind of foster that relationship with Cassie too.
That's beautiful. That's great. All the connections.
Yeah.
Never know where they'll take you.
I know, it's true.
So we did have a question from the audience. Um, so they said that being that this is one of the most exciting times in a woman's life, how was it when it came to privacy of this experience?
Yeah, in terms of like filming it, kind of.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Cassie was very open with me. We kind of had a conversation about, um, how involved did she want me to be during the birth? I just wanted to have that conversation before it happened because during would have been crazy. And so, she kind of gave me like free reign to be wherever I wanted to in order to document it. I was really lucky with that, but I think we had built like a strong connection. And again, the midwives also trusted me to like kind of be in the right place at the right time and not get in their way too much because we had done it before. And so I was really given a lot of flexibility, which is a huge, honor and a privilege, really. And so I didn't, the point wasn't necessarily to like show anything super graphic or anything like that. It was more about the experience. And so I didn't really find myself documenting, um, anything that would be like kind of like considered explicit or a lot of nudity and things like that. Although I was obviously there in real time and witnessing everything. But when it came to documenting it, that like wasn't what I was drawn to, and I think they trusted that and knew that as well. And before I like released the film and I had kind of an edit together, I did show Cassie and made sure that she was comfortable with like what was being shown in that scene. And so yeah, she was really open. I think I just yeah, she was kind of amazing. I don't know.
So I guess, well, that doesn't really apply. Sorry, I was like looking at one of the other questions.
Yeah.
So if for this, so I know that you gave her and you got to see she got to see the film beforehand, but was
Mhm.
there perhaps a second cut that was like more like her baby birth video that she got? Maybe there was like some extra footage in there that's like just private for her.
I had some photographs that were just private for her, but most of the footage itself, like, kind of made it. I mean, I filmed a lot, but like the real like scene that I captured of like the baby actually like being delivered,
Mhm.
that was in the film. Yeah, there was maybe a few like cuts that I made just to make everything flow, obviously, but yeah, she didn't necessarily get like a different version. No.
Okay. I'm just curious if there was like some extra footage in there,
Yeah,
anything.
I mean
Uh,
there definitely was, but yeah, mostly like photos kind of. That is what I gave her. Yeah.
awesome. So in Austin, are you continuing your work within the documentary space?
Yeah, I am. So I am a freelancer, so I do, either DP work for news organizations or documentaries. I am still like developing my own documentary projects, but yeah, I've only been here about a year and a half, and so I'm kind of still gaining my footing. But yeah, I'm very much so like in the documentary space, passionate about it, and yeah, excited kind of to see what's next.
That's great. Do you have another project that's out that we could see?
Yeah, so my most recent project was published on Al Jazeera's like documentary series called Close Up. And yeah, I definitely have a link to that. I can share it. Would you want me to share it in the chat or to you after?
Yeah, go ahead and share it in the chat.
Okay, 1 second. Um, let's see if I can find it easily. Okay, here we go. So this film was also actually started in Ohio. Um, and then I moved down here. There, I just added it there. I moved down to Texas, and some things unfolded in the story that I then like would fly back up to Columbus and film things. But basically, the co-director and I started filming with a mother who had lost one of her only sons to gun violence early in or late in 2020. And Columbus at the time was having a real rise in gun violence, and even to this day, like it's quite unexplained. So we really just wanted to look at the experience of this mother and how she was grieving and how she was going to move past that grief. And it was actually, we really tried to make it as positive as it could be in that situation, because her son's girlfriend was actually pregnant at the time that he died. And so Tracy, the mother, really put a lot of hope into her new grandson, and the film kind of culminated in like the birth of her new grandson, and how there was hope for the future. And unfortunately, just a few months after that, I got a call that her only other son was shot and killed on the same street as her other son, and so
Oh
uh,
no.
yeah, it was yeah, um, and so I flew back up to Columbus to film his funeral, and to document and film Tracy again. It was kind of a question if we were going to do that, because we didn't know. it was just such a shock for everybody. You know, it was just a huge shock. And
I can
so,
imagine. Yeah.
yeah, and so we didn't quite know how to approach it, but she asked us right away, "Can you be here for the funeral?" And so yeah, we ended up documenting that, and then it kind of turned into her getting more involved with this group of mothers in the city of Columbus who are all lost their children to gun violence in the city, and they're now like banding together to fight that, and also just provide some sort of like camaraderie and support for each other. And so that's kind of like the string of hope that we tried to find in that story. So yeah, that was published in late May of this year. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is extremely tragic, but I'm glad that you were there to be able to document it and share the story. And I'm sure that that footage and the impact of that story can live on through film. I mean, there are a lot of things, especially like that we see in the film festival, that don't really come to light, and until someone gives you the proof that that's a problem or that that's there,
Mm-hmm.
kind of puts it in your face. And I think that's, the beautiful thing about the internet whenever it came about. Like now, we know things and we understand things that maybe you would have been sheltered from before all of that mainstream. And just having video and film is just such a beautiful way to get out that information. So while it was tragic, it's still that their deaths will not go in vain. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully it helps that family a lot. And have you submitted that second film to any film festivals, or will you submit it?
Yeah, so we're actually like in the process of doing that right now. We kind of took it was a huge like project for us to take on, and it was quite emotional as well. So I think we both needed a break from it once it was published. And we are just now, yeah, after the summer, kind of looking at different festivals and seeing where it might fit. Yeah, so we're actually meeting tomorrow about that. So yeah.
Great. Awesome. Well, I hope that you submit it to Topaz for next year.
For sure.
Uh, we open up submissions usually in February, so
Okay.
mark that down. So, as a past filmmaker, we typically give out a little code to our past filmmakers. It's like, hey, if you have new work, we would love for you to continue to be part of the Topaz family. So, submit your film here.
Okay.
We have a filmmaker that was just in our last Q&A, and her name's Dale, and she has been in our film festival for the last 3 years with
Oh,
just
awesome.
fantastic films. So we like to see our filmmakers come back. And we have another filmmaker from 2019, and she is doing a feature right now, and that'll be coming to Topaz too. So we're
Awesome.
really
Yeah,
excited.
no, I
Like,
didn't know. I'll definitely apply. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, so now that you're down in Austin, there's a partner chapter in Austin. So Topaz is run by Women in Film Dallas, and in
Hmm.
Austin, there's a Women in Film Austin chapter.
Okay.
And so I highly recommend reaching out to them and getting involved. They're new, but they've got a lot of good, oomph in the organization. They're all passionate, and they're doing some really great workshops and things there. So it'd be good to connect with those ladies down there.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Um,
That's awesome. Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then if you ever make it up to Dallas, which I highly recommend you do, are you coming for the festival?
No, I'm not because I have family in town. I'm sorry.
Oh, darn it. Okay. Well, if you ever make it up here, then, let us know and we'll take you out for coffee or something.
Awesome.
Um,
Thank you. Yeah.
But I have one last question and we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
So, as a documentary filmmaker, there are probably many women in the audience who want to produce and do and film their own documentary. And since you're a one woman band, what is the biggest advice or the best advice that you can give someone who may be just starting out, or just has that thing that they want to film and they don't know what to do?
Yeah. So I feel like there's like two parts that I would say. So there's like the technical aspect, and then there's the kind of like storytelling aspect. On the technical side, I would say like no one is born good at filming things, and but like it has to be filmed, and so you have to just do it and fail a bunch of times. Like everyone who's learned to shoot is like has failed a million times before they get to where they are. And so I think like that fear can really hold you up, but um it's like cliche in a way, but you really just have to get out there and fail, and then you'll be happy in the end with like at least being able to capture something. And yeah, so that's the biggest thing I think on the technical side, because that kind of held me up for a bit. I wasn't necessarily, I was a photographer, so I wasn't fully confident in my ability to film. Um, and from a storytelling perspective, um, I think leading with empathy and just listening, like the people, your characters, your sources, however you want to call them, your collaborators, like they know their story better than anyone does, and you can learn so much from them. And I think because I've led with that, I don't know, I've been able to build relationships in a way that's been really beneficial to the projects, and you know, just our relationship as filmmaker and collaborator, and yeah, so those are the two main things I would say.
That's fantastic advice. I would wholeheartedly agree. So I look up to
Perfect.
that.
I'm
And
not
thank
giving bad
you.
advice. That's good.
Maybe you never know. Maybe you need a second camera and then you can give me a call and I'll help out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you again so much. And we do have some people in the coffee shop. So if you'd like to click that button
Okay.
for the Lifty Cafe, you can go there and talk to them. So they'll be happy to say hello and just remind them that you're from the documentary shorts, so that they can
Okay. All
talk to
right. Perfect. Thank you so much. This was really fun. So thank you.
you. Of course. Of course. And congratulations on getting into Topaz.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.